Welcome, everybody. Welcome to a new live stream. Today, we have something really interesting for you. So I want to invite Simone right away on stage and just get rolling together. I'm Giuseppe, by the way, and here together it's just me and Simone. Hey, Simone, how are you?
Hey, Giuseppe, all good, all good. Hi, everyone.
Nice. Yeah, so like I was saying, today is just us. So we don't have like friends, guests, other projects. It's just going to be the two of us. And what we wanted to do was, first off, give community update to our developers about the upcoming Webstream Sprout release. And then after that, we want to kick off a little contest that we thought of doing. And if you're part of our developer community, you know about it already, but we decided it'd be cool to test the new implementation of Webstream, the new upcoming release. And we wanted to ask everyone's help to check this out and help us build a little bit with it. And we will have some cool prizes for you, for whoever decides to participate and actually participates successfully. But we'll get into that in just a second. What I wanted to do just to get going, I wanted to just give some, simple house rules. So for anybody who is watching, you are totally welcome to ask questions as we're going through it. Because one of the, I think, interesting parts about this is that Simone later will do like a super small demo of how to spin up a WebStream node to generate some ZK proofs. And we wanted to then, make this an opportunity for everybody to, ask questions, or maybe if something is unclear about the contest itself, you are welcome to ask live directly. Otherwise, I'll share some links. I think we want to use our builder zone in the Telegram, in the IoTeX official Telegram, to, be an opportunity to meet other fellow developers who are participating in this contest, and for you guys to reach out, see if you have any questions, and hopefully, we want everybody to be successful. So we'll be monitoring that. I see iChristwin saying hi. Hello there. And yeah, feel free to just jump in the conversation, ask questions, post whatever you guys like, and I'll start posting some links as we get through. So I think, Simone, we can start with
I see a
maybe...
nice comment from Nature Pro TV. Been a holder for 3 years now. Let's see this to $1. Great. You're welcome.
Awesome.
Yeah, great.
Yeah, I was thinking, let's see, it all started last week, or maybe a few days ago. We posted a community update about Webstream Sprout. I think maybe we can go through that, just highlight some of the new features, highlight the work that has been going on behind the scenes, and then maybe look at the current architecture of what we're thinking, would be the next release. I was thinking maybe, Simone, you want to give us an intro, like for all those who don't know, what does Webstream do? Yeah, exactly. And actually, I would like to stress the difference between what Webstream DevNet has been doing for the past year, and what the upcoming Sprout release would actually mean for all the developers using this stack. So maybe let's kick off with that.
Yeah, let's start from, this is actually a great point, since many people, maybe many developers would be asking themselves. So if you are familiar with it, we released Webstream DevNet, I think early this year, which was, as the name says, it was supposed for developers to experiment, but mostly also for ourselves to get a better idea of this emerging field of DePIN, how these DePIN builders wanted to use blockchain, and what features would be the best ones for them and for us to build. And so during this 2023, we worked with many projects, DePIN projects and builders and partners, and we used that DevNet release to, mostly experiment. And that was the reason why the Webstream DevNet has many features, like, for example, from streaming data to processing events and then triggering different logics on chain. And we never made it public, but the original Webstream DevNet source code also had the ability to upload multiple projects, or let's say multiple applets under the same project. And this was not reflected in the UI, but the code base behind was pretty packed with functionalities, with flexibility to allow builders to experiment and to allow us to understand what features were most needed. So yeah, basically conscious that we could not build all the features, of course, for everyone. Eventually, we realized that the main, like, really needed feature for any DePIN project, but I would also say for any blockchain application, for any DApp that relies on verifiable insights that must be computed on, like, lots of real world data, or in general off-chain data. The most needed functionality is exactly this one, to achieve the verifiable computation of large amounts of off-chain or real-world data, and compress this information into this small insight that tells something that the app is interested in. And this, in our vision, can be achieved very well using zero knowledge proofs that basically represent the ability to compress a proof into a compact cryptographic data that then can be verified regardless of how much data has been used to compute that zero knowledge proof. So this very narrow component or functionality is what we are focusing on. I've been focusing on in the last, I would say, 2 months of development. And so we are working on the Sprout release of Webstream, which is a totally new protocol, I would say, on the difference. That's very different from the DevNet, which was mostly kind of a service that you had to run in an isolated way. So now we are basically going to release a decentralized protocol, which allows to compute custom zero knowledge proofs. It's something very similar to rollups, but instead of working on blockchain transactions and generating proofs of blockchain blocks of transactions, it's basically processing raw data instead of transaction data. And basically it's proving batches of raw data instead of blocks of transactions. And then these proofs are just custom, right? And then depending on the DApp, and then they can be dispatched or written to different blockchains. So yeah, I don't want to speak too much. Maybe yeah.
No, actually, that's a great intro. As a matter of fact, let me just go ahead and share our Sprout repo here in the comment, and I'll just show it up on screen, because as Simone was hinting at, the one of the coolest things I think is that this repository is public, so anybody can have a look. And actually, for all the people who are participating in the contest, you will have to follow some of these steps in this in the README, but we'll get to that in just a second. Let's see. Let me see what could be added here. I mean, I think we've talked about it very often. I think SDK centric architecture definitely helps deepen or applications that need proof of physical work with scalability. And I was thinking maybe we could have a look at what the proposed architecture for Webstream Sprout could be, and I think that could spark maybe a conversation on what the different components are, and also for the purpose of the contest, how how do we call them, contestants, how the people that are doing the competition will have to interact with it. So I'm just going to share my screen, and then maybe we'll talk about this real quick live. Let's see. Okay, great. So this is the blog that I was talking about that we shared in the comments. It's this one here, and you're welcome to check it out. We talk about a couple of highlights for this release, and then here I'm just going to zoom in. We can see a little bit of a proposed architecture. So I think the main difference, as Simone was hinting at earlier, is that this here is going to be a decentralized network. And we see there are two types of nodes here, but we want to focus on these 0 nodes here, which essentially work as provers. And they will then dispatch proofs to various smart contracts on various blockchains thanks to these adapters here. As Simone was saying earlier, we're basically unpacking, Simone, what you said earlier, and just a little bit more info. But at the end of the day, instead of focusing on like all these end-to-end aspect of off-chain verifiable computation, we sort of like at the moment leave this part, the streaming data part, alone, and we really just focus on the computation. And there will be maybe various other components, such as a data availability component. There will be some orchestration on the IoTeX blockchain. And I guess maybe we can start with that, right, Simone? We can talk a little bit about what the relationship between this IoTeX blockchain is and the 0 nodes, and also for the purposes of the competition that we have going on.
Yeah, absolutely. This is actually very important to get a good context of what you will be working on. Although this is still in development, so what we would really like for this context is to get some zero knowledge passionate developers to take a look. Don't expect a working repository, but instead feel free to contribute something while like working and testing it. However, it's important to have the big picture in mind, and basically the role of the IoTeX blockchain in the architecture of Webstream Sprout is as an orchestrator. So of course it can also work as it's actually the best choice for DApps to deploy, but in parallel, it's also the orchestrator, the layer 1 orchestrator for Webstream nodes. And this happens in this way. We have smart contracts where all the Webstream nodes get registered, and it's used also for managing the staking requirements and all the requirements for any Webstream node to actually join the Webstream network. And then we have a smart contract. In the picture, the first smart contract is the fleet management contract. The second one is the project management contract, and that's where DePIN projects or any DApp that leverages the Webstream network is registered. That's where the Webstream projects get registered. So let's say if you have a DApp that, let's say DePIN project, right, that relies on some proofs of real of physical work, right? Could be, I don't know, let's say network connectivity or whatever, weather data, proving our contribution of weather data, right?
Or maybe a certain bike sharing application.
A certain well-known bike sharing application. Or we have iChristWin here from Switch Electric. So it could be, I don't know, energy, solar energy, generation, proof of solar energy generation. And so this means that you need to collect this energy data, and you need then to prove something. In this case, I don't know, I'm thinking of proving how much energy, solar energy, your I don't know, your house or building produced based on many data points, right, that have been received. And so this means that you want to deploy a prover, right, a zero knowledge prover onto the Webstream network. And this actually happens into the IoTeX network, means that your project is deploying the actual prover code on the IoTeX network, or let's be more accurate, right? You're deploying the prover on a decentralized storage, for example, IPFS, and then you are registering your DePIN project on the IoTeX project management contract. And this profile registration is also linked to where your Webstream project prover is located in reality. Probably could be IPFS or any other place. And then this allows Webstream nodes to become aware of your DePIN project, and so decide to join your DePIN project, and therefore to download your Webstream prover from your storage, and then start supporting your project. And depending also on your project requirements, you could require, I don't know, 10 nodes or 100 nodes on the Webstream network to run your prover. And then this network will become ready and to provide computation to your project. So basically fetching batches of data, and getting back to the example, fetching, I don't know, 24 hours of energy data from your storage and computing zero knowledge proof based on your requirements. For example, just the total amount, proving the total amount of energy, solar energy that you produced, and then sending this compact proof to wherever your DePIN project, the app, is deployed, possibly on the IoTeX blockchain. And so the proof is going to be written to your smart contract that eventually will most probably run some token economy, like sending payments or sending incentives to your solar panel owners. Yeah.
Awesome. Cool. So I think it seems that this sort of like makes me think about the two tracks that we're going to have for the contest, right? Because I think from what you were talking about now, it's clear that I think some of the let's say users or people that would interact with the Webstream architecture would be node operators, and while other developers, like maybe DePIN developers, will then create their own circuit, which will come with their own provers and their own verifier. And this is sort of like a different type of developer which will interact with the Webstream protocol in a different way. This is why we have two tracks. One is for node developers, one is for circuit builders. And also, I wanted to tie it back to something that Ayush was saying. How can I become a Web3 developer and contribute to IoTeX? I think the first thing to do is go to the IoTeX developers portal, which is developers.iotex.io. And this is where we're going to go next, because we have all the information for the contest in a tutorial in the developers portal. So I just wanted to go through these and then highlight some of the most important parts. And after that, I think we can maybe have a look at the Sprout repository. What do you think, Simone? Sounds like a good strategy.
Great. Sounds great.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Cool.
Actually, I just want to remind to this guy who is interested into starting development, Web3 development and contribute or work, build on IoTeX. I mean, it's interesting or important to know that IoTeX provides Ethereum compatibility. So any resource that's related to building on Ethereum also works on the IoTeX layer 1. But I also suggest you to follow us in our webinars, because then if you are really interested into DePIN and IoTeX, you should also get familiar with this aspect of the decentralized verification computation. So this part you can only learn from us, basically, and experimenting and contributing to the project.
Yeah, I think we still have made the only how to build a DePIN X content on YouTube. So yeah, still holding that. What was it? Let's see here. I just shared this. This is where I'm at, where I am right now. So I'm in the developers portal, and I am in the Sprout Your DePIN tutorial. And you can see here that basically we divided the contest into 2 tracks: node operator and circuit builder. What you have to do as a node operator is pretty much similar to what Simone is going to do in a few minutes, and basically spin up your own Webstream node. And the Webstream node already comes with a range prover, and I think this will be enough for you to succeed. We have added just a little caveat, so it's not just sufficient to basically follow Simone's steps and spin up your own node and send the proof to IoTeX testnet, but we would like you to make just small content, video content on your experience. So spinning up a node, generating the proofs, sending the proofs to the IoTeX testnet, and then retrieving the hash of that transaction. And so I think that would be it for node operators. But anyway, it's all here. Then the other interesting. Oh, this is a nice comment from Sergio. Thanks for helping the community with this series. Thank you for being part of it. We're really having a good time doing these kind of live streams. So thank you, guys. So I was saying for the second part, we have the circuit builders. This is a little bit more, I don't know, more involved, more challenging, would you say? But the whole idea here is that you need to create your own circuit. And for that, we support three different types of provers. We have the ALO2, RISC-0, and ZK-WASM. We'll get to that in just a second. But essentially, for circuit builders, what do you have to do? You have to create your own circuit. And what does the circuit do? I think it's pretty cool. It basically needs to prove knowledge of a wallet address, which will be the private input. And that should be your wallet address, because that's a wallet address where you will receive your rewards. And then obviously, you have to provide the proof of the transaction, etc., etc. And we were thinking with Simone that all this should be done by January 6th. So it's kind of like a Christmas homework for the community for the Christmas holidays. And there is a link to a form here, which is the form that you would have to use for submission. So all super simple. And once basically you are here, you can then have access to all sorts of content on the developers portal, building your DePIN application. There are links to the bike sharing series that we've been working with, and all sorts of other types of content. For example, like Ayush was saying earlier, there are also content for people starting out, how to deploy your first smart contract, etc., etc. So let's see. Simone, am I forgetting anything? I think I covered pretty much all the highlights of the competition. I was thinking we could start moving to the demo, unless maybe there is something else that you wanted to add.
Yeah, maybe we are also accepting if you want to be creative and you are more familiar with a different type of circuit, that you have been working with already and just want to try to make it work on the Webstream node, feel free to do it. I mean, we mentioned this example about proving the knowledge of a wallet address, but anyway, you're going to submit your wallet address in the submission form. So we know it. We know where to send the prize. So yeah, if you feel like you want to be creative and build something more complex, feel free to do it.
Yeah, true. We're not stiff. We definitely encourage creativity. So awesome. And as far as rewards, we are creating some limited edition NFTs that you will be sent, and then you can. They will be available on the Mimo NFT exchange. So I think that's pretty cool. And then you can brag with your friends and show off your NFT for participating into this. Cool. This is very important. So as I was saying earlier, obviously, you know, I'm sure there's going to, like, the whole purpose of this is to help us with the product and see if you find bugs or see if you want to suggest improvements, try it out, etc. So I think communication is very important, and I think we really want to focus on the builder zone in the IoTeX official Telegram group. It's like the builder zone subgroup. Otherwise, obviously, Discord is always a great place. If you go to the developer chat, we'll be there. The other team members will be there as well. So that's also a great place to start a conversation, share your ideas, or see, you know, maybe if you get stuck with something, reach for help. And obviously, Stack Overflow could be an interesting one as well. Or, you know, at this point, like anything online, really. And the developer portal has also a ton of content in case you get stuck or in case you want to learn more about some specific stuff. So I think without further ado, I'm going to stop sharing my screen, and it might be time for just a quick demo, or more than demo. We're just going to go through the steps highlighted in the Sprout repo that I'm sharing right now.
Mostly we are just getting familiar with the repository, and that's it, basically. Just understand the structure, what's inside, and we are going to leave it to you to do something, to build something on it. So yeah, let's share and do this together.
Yeah, I think that'll be cool. So yeah, I think we have all the links, right? We've shared the links for the Sprout. We shared the links for the all the info in the developers portal. We've shared the links to the blog. So I think we should have enough information for everybody to get rolling. And yeah, this is sort of like a hands-on exploration together, basically.
Yeah. Let me just try to enable do not disturb, because getting so many messages. Okay. So
too popular. We need to stop with the live streams. We're getting too popular.
It's IoTeX. It's too popular. Too popular these days. Okay. Not sure if we highlighted once more how to log in to the IoTeX developers portal. You can sign in using your GitHub account. And I'm mentioning this because anyway, you will need some test tokens to, as I said, the Webstream node is anyway at some point computing a proof and writing it to a blockchain to the DApp contract that needs to verify the proof and trigger the token economy. So this operation, of course, needs a funded wallet on the destination chain. So because the Webstream default setting is to send the proofs to the IoTeX testnet, you should just go ahead, log into the developer portal, go to the dashboard, and connect your MetaMask, and then just claim some test tokens. You can claim, I think, 100 IoTeX per day from the dashboard, and you can check the balance from inside the dashboard itself. And so make sure that you basically created a MetaMask wallet. You have the private key because you will need it to configure your Webstream node, and that you have a few test IoTeX in this wallet. So that said, maybe I would move to the GitHub account and to check out the Sprout repository. We go to GitHub /machinefy /Sprout. We have by default we get presented to the release branch, which is supposed to be more stable at this moment. However, if you're really interested into the ongoing heavy development of the latest features, you should go to the main branch. But for the purpose of the contest, it should be enough to use the release repository. So yeah, basically just start from the getting started in the readme. There are just two links for you guys. One, if you're interested into the node operation. So this is also in the future for community members that want to participate in Webstream as node operators. So they are interested into joining different DePIN projects and start earning tokens or DePIN assets by running the Webstream node. They just go to the operator guide. On the other side, if you are a DePIN developer, builder, or any DApp builder that needs to trigger some token economy based on proofs of some real-world event, based on processing real-world data, then you go to the developer guide. So the developer is who creates the prover and the Webstream project configuration. The Webstream project configuration basically is a profile that states what the prover is, where it is, how many nodes on the Webstream network your project wants to be more or less decentralized, and just maybe a few more settings. And then this is usually stored in the IoTeX blockchain, and that's it. So it's mostly about building the custom prover that is needed for your project. Instead, the node operator is who decides to join one or more DePIN projects or Webstream projects. And so basically fetching the actual prover, the actual configuration to the node, to the Webstream node, and just run it. And then this node will just coordinate with the other nodes in the Webstream network that are joining the same project to basically take turns into compute proofs for the project and shipping these proofs to the respective DApp on the layer one of the project. So without further ado, let's go to the easiest part, right? If you are interested into the becoming a node operator in the future in the Webstream network. This is also important if you are a developer, because anyway, you will have to run a Webstream node, at least locally, to make sure that your prover works, that your Webstream project works, and everything is fine. So you will have always, anyway, to get familiar with how to run the Webstream node. So I'll just go through the instructions. Let's see if we also want to try something. But basically, it's similar to running any layer one node if you want. You usually need, the most obvious or easiest way to run a node is using Docker. This makes your life way easier. You don't have to build code. You don't have to manage updates. You just pull the Docker image and run it. If you have to update, just pull the next release and run it. So make sure you have Docker installed, and also that you have the Docker Compose plugin installed in your system. Your system, by the way, which could be macOS or Linux. As I also mentioned, make sure you have a blockchain wallet on the target blockchain for the purpose of this contest. We're talking about the IoTeX testnet. I'm sorry. Bonsai API key. This is just temporary, actually, solution. It's only relevant if you are a circuit builder for the purpose of this contest. So
and
maybe
Simon, is that only if you're using RISC-0, or?
This is only if you are using RISC-0, but if you are a node operator it's not you who decide, right? It's if you decide to join a project, it's the project who created the prover, and so it's the project owner who will, let's say, tell you that your node needs the risk zero prover. I'm sorry, guys.
It's a season. It's fine. I've been coughing too while you were talking.
Yeah. So from the point of view, of the node operator, you, let's say, can ignore it. Also because you will not need this API key anymore probably in January. So I'm just gonna skip it. Maybe we'll get back to it on the circuit builder stage. So what you do, you just download the configuration for Docker Compose. Let's try it. Let's see if it works, at least. But I don't want to make it too easy for node operators. Let's create a folder. I don't know, call it contest or contest. Okay, downloaded it, and then we can start by pulling the images. I'm only pulling them, not like running them directly, because in theory you should first deploy. Oh, I'm sorry. That's I'm not running Docker. I try not to run Docker on my Mac because it's so resource intensive. Just try to keep it closed. Okay. So it's now pulling the required images for the node, and from what you can already see, it's basically an image for the different provers that the Webstream network supports, or let's say the different frameworks that the Webstream network supports. So Halo 2, ZK WASM, and Risk Zero by now. And it's also pulling the images for the entry node and the zero node. And these two nodes at this moment in this design of the architecture play the role similar in a ZK rollup, where the entry node could be seen as the sequencer, and the zero node could be seen as the prover, although it's not exactly the same type of architecture. So yeah, I think I pulled all the images. So that's where you want to configure your system with your wallet private key. So you want to export your private key in your system. I'll do it on the second screen, so just you don't steal my test tokens. And once I've exported my wallet private key, okay, so basically we have everything here, and we should be able to run the node, but since we should first join a project, a Webstream project, and because as we already mentioned, all the layer 1 registration is still in development, so we could not make it in time to show it to you. This has to be done manually. And if you check out the Docker Compose file, oh, sorry, Docker Compose file, there is setting that is in the zero node that is called project file directory, and that's where the project file will be located, or is supposed to be located. So just to, yeah, basically /data will be mounted against the local folder. So your project should be located into the test project subfolder of your current folder. So the current folder, when you run the node, the current folder will be mounted under /data in the Docker image. So we should create test/project folder where the node expects to find the Webstream project that you are joining. So this in the future should be mostly automatic. So you just mention what project profile you want to join, and the node should download the Webstream project from the storage. But as I said, you're going to do it manually now. So we should just enter the test folder project, and we should put our Webstream project inside here. Since we are not the DePIN developer at this moment, you can use some test projects that you can find into the Sprout repository already. So under test, under project, there are 3 example projects. All 3 of them implement a simple number range prover that will just prove that a certain private input is within 2 A and B numbers. So I'm not going to do it. Don't want to make it too simple. So you can just download these 3 projects or only one of them, whatever, put them into the folder, into the projects folder, and then just go ahead with the instructions. So, and with instructions at the project folder, join a Webstream project, which in our case is just about, as I said, copying some test projects in the folder, and then just run like the node, and eventually send some test messages to the node. The test message plays the role of fetching some raw data from some project data storage. Currently, only single data messages are supported, but that's because the sequencer is still in development. So at the end, it will be able to just fetch some batches of data based on some project configuration and then process the whole batch into a prover. But now you can just send a test message and target the specific Webstream project that you have in your node storage, and just check out the log. And if everything goes well, you should see the actual proof data in the log, and then also the transaction hash of the node, basically writing the proof in the blockchain application, so in the smart contract. And that's for what like pertains to the node operation part. Should I stop here? Any questions?
I don't have any questions from the people watching, but if anybody has some questions, this is a good time to post, and then I'm sure we'll get to them. Otherwise, yeah, maybe we could get to a little bit of the circuit builder stuff, or at least how to set up the project, or just guidelines. Maybe we don't have to like replicate or follow the steps.
Yeah, so if you want to play hard and you feel confident about ZK circuits, and if you I don't know, design ZK circuits before you do breakfast in the morning, then you want to go and try the developer guide. And this one is gonna, I'm gonna go pretty fast here, because here it's expected that you know what you're doing. We are not explaining how to build a ZK circuit. A Webstream node can run provers, mostly Halo 2. We prefer you to use Halo 2, but if you want to experiment with RISC-0 or ZK WASM, you are also welcome. But basically, we are going to show how you can build your prover, and from the prover, how you get to the Webstream project, and then finally test it. Your task is to basically learn, pick one of the 3 frameworks, either Halo 2, RISC-0, or ZK-WAS, and which one you think you're more familiar with, or which one you think you can learn in time for the 6th of January. And these projects, like the code for the different Webstream projects or provers, example provers, are under the project folder. And under the project folder, oh no, not under the project folder, under the examples folder. So there are 3 folders: one for the test Halo 2 circuit, the RISC-0 circuit, and the ZK-WAS circuit. So if you're familiar with one of these 3 frameworks, you should also be familiar with the actual structure of the source code. Most of them, I think all 3 of them, expect Rust knowledge. And so you basically supposed to hack or create a new circuit, or hack the existing one, build it according to the instructions. And once you built it, for example, using ZK-WAS into the instruction, you can skip the verifier. We're not asking for also deploying any verifier on the layer 1. At that point, once you built your prover, so the actual bytecode of your prover, you're going to use the command line client to convert these into a Webstream project, which gives you a file, a JSON file, that then is the actual Webstream project that you are going to just copy into the projects folder that we have already seen before. So just go to test project and just copy your new Webstream project into this folder, give it a unique name, a unique ID as the file name, and just once you've done it, just follow the few steps of the operator guide to run the Webstream node with your circuit, with your prover, and then try sending some test messages and see if you can make it work, if you can get the Webstream node to write the proof to the blockchain. Yeah, I think this is all. I mean, plain and simple. Where can we be available, Giuseppe, for developers to ask questions or to give them support?
Yeah, I mean, I think the best way would be maybe on Telegram. We have the Builder Zone or the Discord, the developers chat, which are both linked in the document in the developers portal that I was sharing earlier. But I can put some links in the comments here as well. Otherwise, if you guys also feel like following us on X, I think basically we send all the updates from the IoTeX Dev account. So I think that's always a good place to stay up to date with us. I'm gonna put the link here, and if you want to follow or tag us with your progress or anything that you like, whenever you like to reach out, this is always a good place. Simone, I did have a question. It might be a curveball or a sneaky question, but I think maybe it's going through some of the minds of our developers watching. Like, for example, I'm a Web3 developer, right? I can do full stack. DePIN is already something new, but somehow I'm working with like a small team, and then maybe somebody else is taking care of the hardware part. Do I also need to learn how to build circuits, or will some of the heavy lifting be taken care of by Webstream or by IoTeX as we roll out the release?
So I think I mean, I also want to make sure that anyone watching this video also after this today's event, I just want to make sure that everybody understands that we want to build a community here of ZK builders that contribute to this infrastructure and contribute with like making DePIN really the next wave. And so definitely ZK developers will play a role here. So anything that, I mean, it's my personal idea that we should, and we will for sure, provide some basic circuits that we believe are going to be used in many projects, in most projects, for sure, most DePIN projects. However, this is such an emerging field that we need to know together with you what these circuits are, and that could actually relieve builders from at least one more step, because we are providing an infrastructure that is already a great thing. I mean, you don't have to build this infrastructure from yourself, but ideally there are some standard circuits that, or at least compositional circuits that can make the development even faster for DePIN builders. I don't know. I can think of popular IoT cryptographic signature verifications that could be most probably needed by any DePIN project that is implementing some bare minimum security into their devices, that will probably sign using IoT hardware to sign their messages. So providing the ability to prove batch of raw data messages that are signed by well-known IoT crypto chips is definitely something that I personally think we will provide. Another thing could be, I mean, if given that we're targeting DePIN projects, and many of these projects deal with IoT data, right? IoT data is always like about a series of sensor data, which eventually you are going to somehow prove after you did some processing, like average, I don't know, minimum, maximum, any statistic you want to calculate, and aggregate statistics. So providing maybe these types of circuits can be definitely helpful for DePIN projects to get started, at least for most of them, to get started. But yeah, in general, I mean, if you developers are interested, and I guess even for this contest, take this as an opportunity to share your findings, also using Webstream. And I think we are pretty happy to maybe schedule a live call with developers, where we are not the only ones on stage, but anybody can join and maybe even present how they're building, how they're how their circuit works, or whatever. Or we can maybe schedule this one for the end of the contest also. But yeah, I would personally love, I mean, to do like a live call with the developers, and where somebody is showcasing how they're using Webstream, or how they're building their circuit.
Yeah, that'll be awesome. And I think it would be even it would be fun if maybe we could incorporate maybe that into, not necessarily the next episode, maybe the one after, but into our bike sharing webinar series.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, I think in January, once the project registration, the Webstream project registration on chain is ready, we're definitely going to use it into the bike sharing. I mean, I can't wait. And yeah, just see how the whole basic workflow is built, like from creating a simple circuit to receiving the proof on the app, and then verifying it, and then triggering something on top of this proof, registering the DePIN project on the IoTeX blockchain, and I don't know. Yeah, all these steps are going to be exciting to try out.
I mean, maybe we do another poll, let's say maybe after the holidays, and we decide what we want to do next. But I think if we put sending ZK proofs, it could be an easy win, you know. But we'll see. We also have some other interesting content coming up in January, actually. No spoilers, but eventually we'll spoil, but maybe not right now. Sweet.
I see status unlocked. User asked what hardware I should put to work to help IoTeX to grow. It depends. What do you mean with put it to work? I don't want to anticipate, but anyway, we have already released an IoT SDK. We are working on the Sprout adoption of this release, which basically helps hardware developers to build their firmwares that's like more Webstream friendly, in a more Webstream friendly way. You can use any hardware you want. I mean, it depends on what project you have in mind. We already have examples for any ESP32 board, but I mean, eventually it's just about sending messages that are needed by your application. So it's nothing Webstream specific, but you maybe want to take advantage of our SDK to implement some Webstream needed features like message signature, for example, or DID registration, for example, that are required when you start thinking that data is going to trigger something on a blockchain. That makes the difference on how your firmware is built. Like you have to think of decentralized identities and as well as data verification and so on and so forth. Making the data tamper-proof as much as possible. So yeah.
Sweet. Cool. I think we covered this. Let's see. We gave the deadline. We're always ready to support. So feel free to either ping either of us or the rest of the team on the various channels that we shared. You have the document to run through the steps. You have the README file in the Sprout repository to follow. I think it's just a matter of trying this out, having fun. Let us know what you think. Let us know what needs to be improved. And yeah, we'll be maybe sending.
We should present, maybe we'll send out a newsletter. We should present what the prize is, or at least
exactly.
how it looks like.
Yeah, I think once the price is ready, and then yeah, we'll definitely post. So definitely, I'm maybe 99% gonna post it on the IoTeX Dev for the community. So feel free to follow us for updates. And yeah, I can wait. Maybe in the next like 1 or 2 days, once it's all ready, we'll post it. And also, I can't wait to monitor the progress and announce the winners, or give the winners a shout out. Honestly, I think if you participate, you're likely to win. At least if you participate successfully, obviously. Like if you make a nice video of you like spinning up the node, sending the proof to the contract on the IoTeX testnet.
It's not really a competition, but we are going to give a prize to anyone who successfully makes a submission.
Yeah, exactly. And yeah, so that'll be pretty cool. All right, I think that is it. We also had set about an hour for this, so we're right on time. Simone, thanks again. I really enjoyed doing these. Next one will be in January. I think we have like 2 or 3 live streams with various friends. So everybody stay tuned for that. Otherwise, I'll see you on all the socials. And yeah, thanks again.
Thank you, guys. Thank you for joining.
Bye-bye.